Warning, everything in this video and on this channel is for educational purposes only. All content is intended for viewers 21 years of age or older. All acts are performed by professionals, and all people shown are 21 years of age or older. All acts are performed under the legal Chapter 67(8)(d) here in Nevada. Please do not attempt to recreate or reenact anything you see on this channel.
In this video, we're breaking down our incredible adventure and collaboration with Swank Genetics, creating our very first collaborative genetic. We've got an update. You're not going to want to miss this. But first, a word from our sponsors. Thank you to AC Infinity for sponsoring today's video. Consider checking out the automatic water sprayer. It comes with a rechargeable sprayer with a 2200 milliamp power capacity. Supports up to 3 hours of continuous water diffusing. You can even modify the direction and spread of the spray with just a twist of the nozzle. Head on over to acinfinity.com, use promo code THESTASH15 and save a few dollars off at checkout.
From the Stash Podcast.
Fellers, welcome back to my studio.
Hey!
/ Pigeon studio.
In person again.
Yes, welcome back, man. It's great to be back again, and it's a special occasion for us boys. It is a unique time in the history of From the Stash. It's our second collaboration together. And this one is actually a little bit more advanced because we brought in one of our good friends, our brother from other mother, Mr. Swank. And I think the people who've been following along for years, they've known we've kind of teased other collaborations and projects we've been working on. But this one right here, it's been a long time coming. And I really feel it's one that I'm over the mountain in happiness on doing it together with my boys, no Diddy. And I think that we have a big opportunity to maybe change the perception of a lot of people who haven't found the dank out there as much. I think we're bringing it back to the market. You know, I think there's still some good dank, but not like ours.
Not like ours. Yeah, had the opportunity to grow our very first F1s. Had some success, had some failures. You were a little later to getting things off based on some of your challenges. And you are kind of a little bit ahead of both of us in regards to where you're at. So, yeah, I really want to share our adventures. And before we do, I just want to give a huge shout out to Swank Genetics, the tank, man, for pairing up with us. And
He's off screen. You guys can't see him.
Real homie. He's holding flashcards for us.
Yep.
Real tight homie. Love the dude. I'm glad he's the fourth quarter of this collaboration because I couldn't have picked a better person to do this with.
100s.
And when you say first time ever growing F1s, well, he's talking about first time ever growing F1s of a Swank Genetics From the Stash collaboration. It's frosted lemonade crossed with fire shit, so a particular genetic. Just want to clarify that because I know you said first ever F1s. I know there's somebody out there that thought his first time ever growing an F1.
Yo, yeah. Someone's going to be in the chat like, he's a noob.
Oh, I got it. I literally just picked it up right there. I was like, I don't understand what you're talking about. Yeah, now I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, this cross is
F4s are done.
incredible. This cross is pretty good. You know, I'm happy with it so far. I'm still in the process where I'm doing the grow with it. These guys are ahead of me. I battled with males, so they're regular seeds, and I got a real bad male to female ratio. At first, I planted, 6 seeds, and all 6 were male, like right off the bat. And so I'm a little bit behind. These guys had a better male. I think all the females went to them. I think Rob said most of his were female.
Yeah.
So he got all my potential females. And you guys have both completed run with it. And we've had the opportunity now to sit down here and consume 3 different phenos from Pigeons. And you have 6 different phenos, Rob, is that right?
Yeah, 6 total. And it was unfortunate because I had a couple that I thought were males, right? And I named them Pigeons, Rob, and Chris. I did. They were all in the same pot together. They were a little stash blend together. And 2 of them ended up being ladies. They do look like ladies, the tall, lanky ones. So me and you were ladies, actually, hidden. It was weird. And then Little Strong P was stanky. You were stanky, brother.
My wife
all
would probably
GMO.
agree.
Like all GMO. And the Fire Shit's parent is GMO and Crippy, BX1. So it's got more of that funky, deep, dank, garlicky nast, and it came through heavy on the male, which was crazy. And the female that was in there, the one that I liked the most, came out like a teriyaki chicken, beef jerky, armpit, bad breath sock drawer combo. It was nasty but good, and it accidentally crossed into F2s, which is beautiful. I mean, it was mainly for the fact that I had thought it was 3 males that I was growing, and 2 were females, which got pollinated by the other. And the uniqueness, I found such a hybrid between the two, but it leaned a lot more on the fire shit, definitely, with just that exhale back end of the sweet, lemony funk. But a couple of the ones that you have, they're cousins. They're in the realm where I'm like, okay, if this is what we're going to find in the Pokemon pack, we have some potential keepers here. Something that's unique of a flavor that I'm having to describe with 6 different weird things to explain what I'm tasting. And that's when I know it's unique, is when I can't tell you, like, oh, this tastes just like this one strain or this thing here. I describe like 5 nasty things with one good thing. It's probably fire.
Yeah, and I had a couple different phenos that I'm working on. They've got them in flowering as of this recording, and eager to really see how they turn out. I mean, they're filling up this 4x4 tent right now. I've got 2 of them on a tray to grow, and I've got 1 of them on a DWC system, and this 4x4 is just, it's pretty much wall to wall at this point. And so I'm anxious to see how the flowers form. And I know when you guys, well, at least I know P, you kept them kind of smaller and more manageable. Me, I kind of doing the opposite here, where they're somewhat out of control at the point where I'm hoping that I don't have to kind of jimmy rig my light to be any higher than it currently is, because it's almost at the point where they're growing too close to the light. And I want to make sure that I'm not like burning them or harming them in any way there. So we'll see how flower develops on mine. Very healthy throughout, easy feeder, very stretchy, fast grower, super vigorous, man. I mean, the growth on this has been incredible. So that's pretty much all I've experienced. You guys have obviously gone through the entire run with it and harvested it. And I think you're on your second run at the same stage that I'm at, right? Just put your second run in flowering.
Yeah, I think I just entered week 2 of flower. We maybe come 2.5 weeks in.
Yeah, I'm popping the F2s now to hunt those. But I think it's good because we're able, from what my understanding is, a true F1 versus the F1s we have may not be the same. But F1s, you're going to get the most vigor and most dank growth potentially out of a lot of the genetics, as where F2 we make it more recessive traits and more things that came from the great-grandparents, the grandparents, the parents, and stuff that didn't shine through in the first run. So it's like, maybe what I found isn't the one yet. We still need to keep hunting and still do more. And that's why I think now we've decided to open up more testing and bringing some of the real true stashers in, the people who really are going to be about it, and do more of a unique approach where it's like kind of a contest. Now, who's the best grow, but who has the best diary, who has the best explanation of what they found and documents it the best. You may wind up with a shitty plant, hopefully not with ours, but I just how you go about it. And I think we'll release more details as the times come, but it's like, if we're all in this hunt together, this search together, pardon me, we can have more opportunities to find this unique, one-of-a-kind unicorn that, just 3 of us may not be able to do. And I think moving down the line and refining it to an F4, eventually F5 even, let's say, it's possible, but maybe that's not the final rendition of this particular cultivar.
Yeah, more work needs to be done for sure. Just being on the first generation there, and you could go several different ways with it, right? It could be kind of gone down generation to generation, F2s, F3s, F4s. We can go that route with inbreeding, or could reverse a plant, find a keeper within this F1 batch, reverse it, and then pollinate itself, or really a clone of itself. And then you get some feminized seeds from it off a pheno that is selected. So that's a route we could potentially go. Kind of just want to grow it out first and really kind of experience it first and multiple times, right? Like you mentioned, he's on his second run with it. Let's continue to grow it out, and the picture of the path that we're going will become more clear as time goes on.
Yeah, and we could rush it to just try to get the quick dollar, but quick dollars don't equate to success.
Zero interest in that.
No, we've been talking about this for 6 months now, 8 months now. We've been starting to work on this, doing this.
April of not this year, but the past year, I went out to Vegas to check out stuff with Swank, and he was showing me all.
It was that long ago.
Yeah, that was when we first had this discussion, and he was like, "Dude," because I was telling him about my Sherbert the Pervert, and I had some. We were smoking it, and he was like, "Man, it's taking you that long?" I was like, "Bro, I don't have the space that you do, and I don't have the experience that you do." And he was like, "Man, let's do something together then." And the fact that he came up with something like this that fits in our palates, which is unique, because the frosted lemonade, it's on its own doesn't, but the cross, it's like when you have food that isn't separate ingredients that you'd mess with, but then together you're like, that hits. I would never eat it alone. If you told me what it was, I wouldn't have taken a bite. But now that I did, maybe that's just me because I'm the poverty palate guy. But it's amazing what has come out of this. And I think the savory, deep funk that's hit is what I like the most. And then you look at what I guess this is breaking news, the other line that comes with it, the fire shit that got crossed through a couple other mutual favorites, I'd say. The strawberry Kush is a very good one, and that's another one that it got in with, and as well as GMO. So to have a great-grandparent or a grandparent crossed back into it is extremely exciting for me, and we're going to still test those and get through and see which ones, if those are going to make the cut. But fire shit from 808 Genetics was one that it was like the color in the book that I want to use the most, you know what I'm saying, or the color in the pack that I really want to work with, I think, and start illustrating more of what our journey is. And it's definitely one for me that I think is hit right.
Well, that's something we all agreed upon, right? We all consumed it, and it just punched all of us in the face. Hard. And we were all just immediately so excited once we consumed that, because we were like, wow, this is this is what we want to move forward with. And having it crossed with 3 different things, it's incredible.
Dude. And we had 14 different. The irony that it was the last one that we went through everything, but I think it's because he was like, "Hey, when we tried, when we tried the first, the potential parents, we were like thinking like, oh, okay, all right, this is our favorite one. This is like I watched the video back, and we kept saying these other ones were our favorite, and then all of a sudden we smelled the fire shit, and we were just like,
it was one of the last ones that we. It
was number 14 on the list.
Oh wow!
Yeah, literally, because then it was. Literally after we smelled it, Swank's like, okay, I got bad news about that. I didn't keep the mother, which he turned out he did. He actually did keep it. He was wrong. He's like, oh shit, I killed the other one. I kept this one. But it was more the fact that he was like, this is a 12-weeker and a small yielder. It's like, oh no. But that's the mom. The dad in the frosted lemonade, the vigor is crazy. It's thick. It's girthy. The trichome production is really nice, and the frosted comes through, which makes sense with the name. And it's got some phenos that, like the one that you had was like a nasty pine, you were saying, and then some are like the lemon cream, so to speak. So
yeah, it was a pine. It had a little that like that citrus, but it wasn't dominating. I personally, the frosted lemonade, it was enjoyable. I liked it, and yeah, I had the opportunity to grow that. But I kind of just want to dial back a half second, because this would have been very easy to just push out a bag of seeds to the world and just call them whatever and just make a couple $1,000 and just move on. But it's like we have all been in this game for over 10 years at this point each. And it's like, I'm really not interested in just cropping and just making a quick buck. It's like I think I can speak for the 3 of us. It's like if I'm going to push out a product, or if I'm going to release a product, I want it to be perfect. I want to know exactly what it is. I want to know exactly how it grows. I want to know exactly how it smokes. When I try to sell it to somebody and say, "Hey, this is the product I have," I want to know exactly what's going to happen when someone else takes it on, so that there's no misconception and there's no ill will or angst against us and me because we just pushed out some crappy weed. So yeah, it's taken us a long time, but it's almost like perhaps left at our own devices, we would never release it. I'm sure you could understand that with Chill Out, where it was like, at what point does it become good enough for the world? Yeah. Because I feel like you could just go forever and never stop and release it. But at the same time, it's like, I want to be confident. That's all. Well, I'm not in this for the money.
I think it helped that one of the 3 of us is further along. Chris is a sophomore amongst us. We're still freshmen. Well, it's like you've got one under your belt.
I literally when I just said all this,
far down the line, but it gave us that blueprint to say, okay, if we're gonna do this, we're gonna do it right. And our colleagues, our friends who are doing this as well, they know their shit. They know what they're giving you when they describe it. Like Chad described what we were going to smoke before we smoked it.
And I smoked exactly
And
what
it
he
was
told me I was
exactly
going
what
to
it
smoke.
is. And that's
And that's the same thing with the Chill OG.
Chris gives three explanations of it, and all three I had.
Boom, boom,
I'm like,
boom.
damn. And this was what, an F2 at the time? Like I had something early on, dude.
You get more variation, yeah.
Dude, and I was flabbergasted how stable it was already. And I was like, okay, well, you found something good to then refine and work your way through. But you were timid to even put out the F1s or anything because you wanted to be right. And that's where we're at right now. I remember, but you already had gotten confidence with enough other people who've tried it and grown it. And
I remember that conversation, dude.
I waited until the F3s in order to release to the public. So, for years I was just working on it under my belt. And I was like, I don't know. And then, you guys actually gave me the confidence to release.
Dude, us both growing it separately in different places and being like, wow, dude, this was yours, brother? Like, we don't want to be like, yeah, man, good to anybody. But I was thoroughly impressed with, again, the ease of growth, how I had powdery mildew on the first run with other genetics, and that one just was in the room and didn't deal with it. The ability to withstand the heat in the summertime that I dealt with, all these things that I was like, I can endorse this to my viewers. We weren't even as close of friends. I mean, we were, but like, I had to try it before I trusted it. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm like, okay. This is why you wait. This is why we wanted to wait more with the F1s. We need to make sure that us as growers, experienced growers, can experience it and understand that a novice grower and an experienced grower can handle it. If we were getting just fire shit alone or just GMO alone, it may be one that's a little more advanced, more intermediate, and that's one that it's tough to be our first release to come out because it's like, damn, hey, new grower who's listening, skip this one maybe. Get something that's a little easier. Get the Chill OG that'll be friendly to you when you fuck up versus this GMO cross that might bite you in the ass partway through, And
I do, I stand by the decision to release the F1s, and I think F1s should be released. I think you did a great job too, waiting until you were really confident with what you had to release it to the world to say, well, this is Chill Out OG. Here is where it came from. And I specifically remember saying that it's like, give that palette, give that spectrum of genetics to your audience, to your community, and see what they come up with. You found Chill Out OG. What did they come up with? Grotem came out with Magic Candy Mountain OG.
Yep.
He came out with
Frost Giant,
Purple Frost Giant,
Atomic Sledgehammer.
I'm just trying to think crossed with crossed with
the Magic Candy Bound OG is what you
that's one. And what's the latest one? No, is it just
he's just working on a second version.
He's working on the second version. So anyways, and that's his kind of portrayal of what he sees as his version of Chill Out OG. And so when we release F1s, even though they're still F1s and their characteristics are so vast, we are learning through experience. I had the opportunity of flowering out 3, not a mass selection. You flowered out more, and then I'm already noticing that there's a spectrum of what to expect between the citrus and between the meat is really what I get off of these. And it's like, I'm gonna lean heavy into the meat, but somebody might want to be like, yo, the dudes from FTS created this meat, but dude, I would love to take their genetic and put some dessert in there so we get a full meal. And then I want to be like, what did you get, dude? I want to try this too.
Yeah.
That's why you release F1s. So
no, and also you find some of the best flavors. A lot of people do. They long for those. Some people call them breeder packs or hunter packs, so to speak. We'll call them searcher packs to be a little more unique. I think that selectors. I think those who are the aficionados, the hobbyists, the people who want to hunt, they're going to want the F1s. And I think it's a disservice to not release those, but it's a disservice to not test them for a while to make sure that they grow properly. They don't run into herm issues. They're not susceptible to the stresses that average growers would run into. That is super important. Don't just go and throw the word out of pollen chuck and then seed chuck some genetics out to your community. Make sure it's something that you could stand by and that you yourself, the grower, is like, yeah, dude, this shit right here is killer in my own garden. I don't want to have something that we just put out as a product and as a name on it. That's why we still have to grow the Strawberry Kush cross and the GMO cross to be able to see if these are ones that make it out to the public. But I truly, personally, just like, with Stash Blend, I love having the audience a part of it. I love having our stashers, the community, kind of give their 2 cents seeing what we're doing and seeing the transparency, because this is a journey. And it's only fair to have the people who've been a part of our journey be a part of this next journey.
Yeah, I would never want to release anything that's untested. It's just too risky. You know what I mean? It's like I've had that experience where I've grown out genetics before that I was really excited about. Then all of a sudden, pollen stacks started forming along in flowering with pistils. Right, the hermaphrodite traits came out, and then you got to wipe that out, and then all the time, energy, money on nutrients like that all down the drain because of the plant flipping, right? And unstable genetics. If you're just releasing those and your customers are just getting that as an experience, they're not going to come back to you. And for us being content creators, man, people are going to stop watching us. They're not going to mess with us at all. And it can damage our reputation more than just, a small breeder who's not as well known.
Yeah,
so
they could just delete their account and move on.
I don't have there's no point in me even rushing anything at this point. Like, I don't care. Like, if they don't even ever make it a market because it's not stable. If there's too many herms, for example, I'll throw them all away. Let's start fresh. You know what I mean? So we're taking our time with this. We're going about it in an ethical way. We appreciate the patience. There have been so many people in the comments section and in our chat when we do our live streams that have just flooded us. Where can I get them? When are they released? Oh, come on, please. It's hang tight.
Sign up at FromTheStash.com.
Let's do things diligently, and we'll get them out to you sooner or later. But yeah, if you go to FromTheStash.com, sign up to the email list. Thank you to all the members, by the way. Help support this podcast. You guys are going to be the first ones to know
100%,
when these are
and
released.
the first to get them. That's the key thing. I want people who've been a part of this to get them first. They're not going out to the public. They will eventually.
Of course they will. This is the very first time I've ever done anything like this of any sort. And I'm very thankful that we've had the opportunity to bring our community with us. That's the biggest thing. Like that's what I do all this for, is that I get to bring the people with us. And it would be a shame if we couldn't reward those that have just really supported us the most. And so we will guarantee that those that have supported us make sure that they have access. Friends and fam, you get access the firstest.
Friends and family.
Yeah, friends and family. And that's like Swank's, the collective.love. You can check out over there to sign up for his specific stuff with Swank 1, Swank 2, Swank 3, and Swank 4 coming out. And this is the thing, is like, we're heavily passionate about the plant, and we're connoisseurs. We're aficionados when it comes to this plant. So like, I want people to experience some of the stuff we've experienced. Cushionados. I want people to experience what we've had and what we're into. So I think us actually creating the art, so to speak, to put that out can make it so our palettes are recognized more than just a visual. And that smell-o-vision that you want, we're working on that, but it's going to be in your garden instead.
Yeah, it just takes a little time. Like for example, my garden, I grew what I call Pheno 1, 2, and 3. They don't really have names. I didn't name them Rob, Pigeons, and Chris. Genius. But
I thought it was cool.
Pheno 1, 2, and 3. And for me, it was tragic. And I overfed the entire garden for 3 weeks. And
how did you do that? Explain because this is honestly a super common mistake, believe it or not.
The reality is that I mix my water. This is exactly what happened. I mix my water into a 3-gallon jug. I then I mix 2 bottles of Ventana Plant Science, and I 3 times those amounts because I'm mixing into a 3-gallon jug. The measurements for the protocol are per gallon. Well, I use a tablespoon worth of Stash Blend that I put into the jug. Well, a tablespoon is 3 teaspoons. And so I was putting 3 tablespoons, because I was 3 timesing a tablespoon and not a teaspoon, and I essentially 3 times the amount of nutrients that were supposed to be taken in my and it's completely because of complacency. I was very upset with myself. I thought, first, not only did I let myself down, but I really felt like I let you guys down. I let Swank down because I had a mission. I had an objective to grow this plant the best I could. And it was the most beginner mistake because I just get complacent. I just get into this routine. Food, water, take them out, do it. I just, it becomes robotic. And then next thing I know, it was literally 3 weeks. So I had probably fed them 3-4 times already. So much. And I started to see the burn on the plants and just thought, it's not because of what I'm doing. Maybe I need to increase nutrients. Maybe I needed to figure. So I slowly started to take note, and it wasn't until the 3rd week where all of a sudden I just had this, like, it just hit me. I realized at that moment, walking through my routine, that I had 3 times. And most genetics, boys, I'm sure I don't need to tell you this, most genetics with that much food should have hermied. They should have started throwing should have started throwing sacks on me, and it should have been very detrimental. But to know that our genetic took a 3 times amount feeding for 3 weeks, and it still came out just fine. She tried to fight it, dude. She tried to fight it, but couldn't, and still managed to come through. So, it's a testament. It was an unintentional test of my own genetics. And it was very thankful to see that it didn't harm them. I managed to correct them. I think I might have compromised the final product. I think obviously because this was in flour, but the final product was still enough to hit.
I was just gonna say I'm surprised actually now that you mentioned that because everything did smoke really well.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because of your drying techniques or what. Obviously, that's a huge contributing factor to it. But if you told somebody fresh off the street, if you gave that to them and had them smoke it, they would be like, oh, great. They wouldn't have any sort of idea that there was that type of a hiccup in flowering, while the plant was growing.
And on your Grow channel, you have the whole breakdown and show from start to finish of that. I think that's a dope video too. It's a lot of stress tests that we needed that we would have had to have gone through a lot more. And this was God intervening and saying, hey, brother,
here, take this.
And just nudged your arm a little as you were putting some in. I think we've got a lot of data now that makes me feel way more comfortable to bring this to the people.
I know I do.
100%. And the fact that the worst phenos were still pretty good, that's a really good one too. Like my worst pheno was heavy lemon. Your worst pheno was mild lemon. Yeah. And then the best ones were funky, dank, with a little lemon. And like I love the fact that it was almost like a chicken schnitzel in the aspect that there's a little lemon zest added to it, but it's not lemony, so to speak. But some of them had the lemon smell, but then the flavor was funky. It had a garlic lemon. Like
hard to explain.
Again, that's what I'm saying, the uniqueness, the category-like flavor. That's something that Swank prides himself on, is he wants to be able to find stuff that you can't describe, and the way you describe it is the name of that strain. How we're like, that's really cushy, or that's a diesel-y funk. It's like, well, it's gotten that because of how unique that particular cultivar was, and now people really use that as a measuring stick of what that flavor aroma is. And I think that this cross is enough of a unique dank that I feel people are going to be like, holy shit, I've never had anything like this, potentially,
That's the hope.
Yeah.
Something to be unique. I don't want to release something that just is the same as everything else, because that's my biggest criticism to the industry today, is that everything tastes the same. It's all the sweets and the desserts, and it's just not for me. So, yeah, I'm really, really stoked about this.
Oh, yeah. I think trying the other ones that we have, we may end up opening that up to some of the exclusive stashers, some of the people in the membership, obviously. And the ones who, beyond that, the ones that we know that can do the work that we need them to do. They may not be the best of growers, or they may be the best. You don't have to be amazing to be a tester. You have to communicate. You have to be consistent and let us know where you're at in the grow and what you're seeing in observations. You're essentially like a product tester. We need to know feedback. We need to know trial and error. You're in beta with this genetic. And to see the people that we know being able to grow these will be such an honor and be so cool to be, getting feedback from these types of people. So I'm excited as we open that up. Obviously, being signed up at FromTheStash.com to get notified on everything there. You'll see more. We've got so much more in the works in terms of where we may take these genetics, what we do with them. Maybe cuts and clones could come out eventually. So, self-pollination, who knows where it goes. Other collaborations with other people.
We got something coming on too that we're not really talking about yet, but
a little bit.
We might be formulating something.
Yeah, something that's very simple that can work very well with other things that we have, we'll just say.
Oh, definitely worth paying, tuning in for. So
paying attention, baby.
Pay attention.
But with that being said, man, we thank you guys so much for being on the journey with us of doing this, of seeing where we've come in where we're going. And being here is just, it's an honor. And thank you guys a ton for that. Thanks to all the members to support the community, support the Stash Blend movement and everything we're doing too. Thank you guys a ton.
Much appreciated, guys.
If you want any cool merch, check out stashmerch.com.
One of us should wear it.
One of us, nobody's wearing it right now. But if you go to stashmerch.com, you can see what we
Yeah,
have
you could wear
available.
it.
hat? Or is that your hat?
That's my hat.
Oh,
This is
but
Mr.
then you
Grow-
can find that
Mr.
Mr.
Grow.com.
Someone's got merch.
MrGrow.com, you can
and
get
you
my
got-
hat, you can get my shirt.
It's not available, but you
Stone
could
is
one day get it.
None of our stuff's available.
It's sold. The hat's sold out. I gotta buy more.
Limited. Exclusive.
Limited edition.
Got to be quick with it.
Appreciate you though.
We appreciate you guys. I'm Pigeons. That's Rob. This is Chris. We're out of here. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
This episode is brought to you by Stash Blend. I've been using Stash Blend for over a year now, and it's awesome. One of the things that I really like is that it saves me money. It's a whole bunch of different inputs in one. So I no longer have to go out there and buy a silica bottle, then a separate seaweed bottle, beneficial bacteria, then a separate one for mycorrhizal fungi. All of that plus more is in this one blend. Go to stashblend.com to learn more about it, and I also have a link down in the YouTube description section below. If you're just getting started growing cannabis, check out 7 Steps to Grow Cannabis. It's a beginner-friendly book for growing indoors that covers growing in soil and in cocoa. For those interested in organic methods, my second book, Organic Cannabis Cultivation, covers beginner to intermediate techniques. You can produce high-quality organic cannabis using sustainable practices. Both books are available on Amazon, but you can get a discount by using code THESTASH on my website, mrgrowit.com.